Hello guys, and today we continue our favorite Russian geography lessons, and all because the Ukrainian drones continue targeting military objects in very different and very distant regions of the Russian Federation. By the way, the regions I will talk about today have a great potential to become free and independent from the Kremlin one beautiful day when the Federation collapses. So tonight, Ukrainian drones have targeted a gunpowder factory in Kazan, Tatarstan Republic. Later, they traveled to a factory that works on the production of antennas for Shahed drones and neutralized it too in Cheboksary, Chuvash Republic. And of course, tonight, two bombers were destroyed on Savasleyka military airbase. Every Ukrainian knows this evil name because Russians quite often send their MiGs to target our cities from that location. And this preemptive strike was definitely successful and means more innocent lives saved. So let's discuss all of the demilitarized objects and the potential of those regions to become independent one day. That is the future of the Russian Federation. My name is Anna, I'm from Ukraine, I'm in Ukraine, and if you want to see the collapse of the Putin regime, subscribe, we will discuss that on the channel sometime soon. I have already introduced you to Tatarstan Republic numerous times. It has a great potential to become independent, well, because in 1991, 1992, they did a lot to proclaim independence, they even had their own constitution, but the Kremlin decided to suppress the initiative. People there are Tatars, and right now Russia produces a lot of drones and military components on the territory of the Republic. First of all, because it's located quite far away from the border with Ukraine, but you see, we can reach them even 1,000 kilometers away. And also because I think they want to frighten the people of Tatarstan too, with all that military production located there that potentially could be used against them. Kazan is the capital of Tatarstan, that is an old city, not of the Russian history, and today Ukrainian drones targeted a gunpowder factory located there. It is responsible for the production of various explosives that the Russian army later uses in Iskander ballistic missiles and in Kalibr cruise missiles, and also in artillery shells and other instruments of war that they develop to target civilian infrastructure. So by destroying gunpowder factory, we paralyze the production of missiles, the production of artillery, even if it is for a month or two. It is super important because it shrinks Russia's capacity, and I am sure with the growing tendency, you see that these days we keep neutralizing more and more objects, we will finally reach a critical moment when all of that war machine will collapse together with the Russian economy. Another important object that was neutralized tonight with Ukrainian drones was located in Cheboksary. And here I want some of your attention because Cheboksary is a city of Chuvash Republic. Chuvash people are different just as Kazan Tatar people. They are not the carriers of that Ruski Mir ideology. They have their own language, which they cannot practice to the fullest because Russia prevents learning languages, practicing cultural heritage traditions, and so on. But they are very different from what Putin or Kirill mean when they speak about this Ruski Mir doctrine. And for example, just compare the Russian name Cheboksary and their own name is Shupashkar. Shupashkar. It does not sound like Cheboksary. Shupashkar. And it's so painful when you look at the city and you see that it has districts named Moscow, Kalinin, Lenin, all named after Russian so-called cultural heritage. I'm sure these nations deserve future in their own countries, in their own states, where they can practice their culture, their language, and their lifestyle. Subscribe to demonstrate your solidarity with Ukraine and to see the collapse of the Russian Federation together And do check my interview with Valery Pekar, the head of the Decolonization NGO and a great Ukrainian intellectual who knows a lot about the decolonization of Russia that has already started, with Ukrainian drones targeting locations like that antenna factory in Cheboksary. It produces antennas that are later used in Shahed drones for navigation they needed, and also for cabs that can be directed into specific locations. What is important, many of such factories do not, there are not many of such factories. And when you destroy one, it is a serious shortage of these critical elements on the market of Shahed drones and so on. So it's even more interesting to neutralize such locations than the production sites of drones. But hopefully more to come, because the only working peace plan is to defeat and demilitarize Russia. Because this way we protect innocent people. And one more important victory that took place tonight was the destruction of Russian bombers. It's a disaster for the Russian aviation. I think we should try and count the number of the aircraft they've lost in just a week. And maybe it will reach 100. Well, I hope this Freudian slip will be true. And soon we will speak about 1,000. In Savasleyka, that is a military airbase and an extremely depressive city. When you look at the videos and photos from the locations, you see typical Russia with drunk people lying next to their bikes, lots of grass, they never cut it, they never grow anything. It's all very, very depressive. And now it is even more depressive because Ukrainian drones often visit that location. Another important thing that you have to remember is that it is obviously a strategic object. Russia obviously knows that we constantly target their military air bases. The Kremlin understands that their strategic aviation is in great trouble. 1/3 is wiped out and we continue targeting. And with all this knowledge, there is nothing they can do. That is the true face of Russia. They cannot protect their strategic objects. Contrary to the Russian invaders, we do not bomb their civilian areas. We do not consider the destruction of an apartment building a victory. In contrary, we target evil military objects and we succeed. And trust me, they are doing their best to protect this, and that is how their best looks. -2 bombers. One of them is MiG, that typically targets kinzhals on Ukrainian schools, on Ukrainian hospitals. So MiG-31 was destroyed, and another aircraft neutralized was Su-30 or Su-34. With all the efforts, there is nothing they can do. After spiderweb operation, after locomotive destruction, after A-50's loss, after another Su-34 neutralized, look at this period for Russia. That is definitely an important moment in this war. And if only the sanctions continue, the support and understanding of our allies continue, we can end this problem once and forever by demilitarizing, defeating Russia, and of course, serving that justice, because that is also very important. And here I want to thank you for an amazing support of our NEFO campaign. We are less than 5,000 away from reaching the goal and getting 3 trucks instead of 2, and drones to Ukrainian units that are now changing the course of history. And today we were so happy to receive 10,000 donation. Thank you so much, beautiful person. And thank you all the people who donate $2, €1. Everything is important, same as your thoughts, your prayers, your advice, and just the conversations that you hold in your places to support Ukraine, to defend the truth, to counter Russian disinformation. Please share and support these videos, because that helps to, bring more truth about Russian invasion and to show this reality to the people who care. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. Remember to subscribe to my profiles on other social media platforms. I am on X, I'm on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and we have an amazing Discord community, and all the links that you need are in the description of this video. Same as a link to our merch shop with lots of good products that work well as reminders and conversation starters, and we also have a limited edition purely dedicated to the spider web operation. This makes me very proud, and I'm very grateful that we have our community, and we also have a community of Anna Danilchuk channel where I share weekly videos with some of my early childhood memories and reflections on what is life in times of the big war. Do check the channel and subscribe if you like the content. Thank you so much for your support, for your understanding, for your friendship, and thank you for standing with Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!